So all the local protests I went to were ran by Jewish leaders that I looked into. I've been to four or so, um, maybe more, but I remember one, I didn't look into the leaders, and three, I did. I didn't even mean to go to one. I accidentally went to one, and it was still them. So think about that. Like, I accidentally went to a group, and it was them. So you have the, the Jewish leaders controlling like everyone on every side. Now, the cameramen, I don't know if they're always them or not, but I noticed that there is cameramen usually. And I suppose that's also security as well as cameraman, but you never know. It would be nice to have a camera person. People get scared when you got the camera. They don't want to talk to you as much. I think that's like a little trick they do. Instead of putting cameras on themselves, they have someone over here recording, and you're not noticing the camera's right there in front of you, so you're not like as offended as people are when I have like a camera out in front of me. So each one I went to was ran by these same people. I posted their pictures. Maybe I can get them on a device. Okay, so that picture didn't come up right away, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I posted it before on like every online account I went to. But stuff like that gets shut down and removed. So probably probably nowhere anymore. I mean, it's on here somewhere. There's just so much stuff I have. So you can also see it in my recent video where I met with Infowars Caitlin Bennett and the uh, the leaders of this protest. Not the one where it's just me versus her, but the one where it's showing the second half of the protest after the cops showed up, after they called the cops on me. So y'all missed the best part of that. They called the cops. The liberals was worried, man, because they're like, "Oh my God, he's telling the truth. This, he's beating us down." So they was like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, he's telling the truth." Call the cops, and then so the cop couldn't really do anything. I just like gave him like a false narrative to chew on while I like made a retreat. Anyways, so when I met those leaders who called the cops, they were Jewish. Like the one came up and talked about she was. Um, I guess that's why you have a cameraman, so you make sure the camera's on when you get that. But you can tell by looking at them when you're aware, right? You can tell just by looking at them. They don't need to come up and tell you that. And then they're leading the event. So when you've seen it like I have, that's now who I expect to lead the event. Three out of four, and I only looked into three. So three out of three are ran by these people. And you just assume after that it's the rest of them, right? You go somewhere and someone shoots at you once, you're like, eh, neighbors getting a little excited. They're happy to see me. And then you get shot two, three times, you might like notice who's doing the shooting. So you notice who's running these events. And I went to the one accidentally, but I stayed there the whole thing accidentally. And it was just another lesson. It's like one of those lessons like when you think things are messed up, you really shouldn't waste too much time worrying about that. I think there's one, like people use that as an excuse for why they hate marijuana and they made it illegal. But marijuana is just part of the drug trade. They don't, each of the drugs can like take over huge systems the empire runs, like mind control and stuff. Many drugs can help break you free of all that, but they pretty much all can because it's like they're using pictures to control your mind and you're using substances. You believe more in the substance, so the substance definitely overrides your body over their pictures and their propaganda. Number one, all that. But I'm pretty sure it's, it's 100%, 99% that OWS was ran by them too. Although I halfway knew to look at them during OWS, I looked at the OWS like through a halfway point lens, and I didn't see them. But then again, I didn't see Trump, but I knew Trump. I seen everyone around Trump, so that was, you didn't have to see Trump, but you can see these leaders. You can see the Hebrew and the so-called Jew in them, whatever they want to call themselves. I don't know, dude. Um, they use that story about who these people are in a manner that it sounds like they would be using that story for a purpose. So it sounds that it would be accurate if they created something and they just said the so-called, and it's like, well, they were called the Pharisees. Jesus called them the Pharisees, and before that, well, it's really hard to tell what's going on because most of the stuff out there is fake. Like, people think there's alien writings and stuff, but then they counter that. And then sometimes you think you know something, and it seems to be they change what's going on. And that, like, they seem to be really scared to use that power. And if you think about it logically, changing some sort of thing in time would change everything, and then maybe your change didn't take place, and then it creates like an infinite loop. You never know. Or it just, who knows? They seem pretty powerful. Who knows what power they're manipulating? But if you look at a lot of that old stuff, there's a lot of debunking to it as well. And then there's probably debunking the debunking. And so it's just, it's more the same trap over and over. It's like 911, you can talk about it all day, but no one really cares. And it's like the people behind it who matter, not really the group. They just change the name of the group, and the name and whatever you say about them just runs off them like water. They change it from, conspiracy theorists, libertarian, alt-right, alt-light, GDL. I don't even have 100% proof GDL is that, but it just seems like the next alt-right. And I started calling out the alt-right way early. Like, I was on the street talking to people about that, like, way early. I was like, I don't think so, dude. He was like, Trump's going to save us. And I'm like, yeah, he's going to save you from his family. Yeah, he's going to go, that's a bad widow girl. That's a bad Ivanka. Turn over so I can spank you, Ivanka. And she'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe we've been so bad. And then Kushner will be like, oh, we accidentally got my dad out of prison. Let's put him back in prison. And, so they'll just turn themselves in. Like he did Hillary, right? Like he turned Hillary in. Because there's not like a countless list of crimes each president has been violating against the Constitution, is there? Ask both sides. They'll both give you a list, and they're both right. They're both right about what's wrong. And they're both being lied to. So they sound stupid, and their arguments go nowhere because the argument is based upon a lie, upon a nothingness. They create a nothingness. They're like, they blow out some smoke, and you're like, smoke? You're like, is that marijuana smoke? What type of smoke is that? Crack cocaine. Chris Christie's got crack cocaine smoke. And you just like totally ignore the fact that maybe if the media is blackmailing presidents and like Chris Christie and stuff like that, or Trump with the hookers, it's either a stage show or the media is blackmailing the freaking president. It's all orchestrated what's in the media. So they're guilty. like all these people involved in this whole situation are guilty on so many levels of so many things going on. It's easy to turn the system on them if you can like just hit the switch. But they've got that switch protected by billion-dollar puppets. And when you go there, like I did that protest, they send the cops out. I got one of my friends talking about coming out there, but he didn't call me back. I thought he was being serious because we used like, man, if I team up with the people I know, that's game over, dude. I've been questioned a few times, like there's got to be other people like me, and like I was talking about like around the world stuff, right? And then I realized like some of those people literally have been around me, but I distanced myself from people when I started doing this because they'll attack those people, and it's not, and like my friends are like, yeah, why don't you fucking include me? And it's like, no, dude, calm down. Like, I don't want you to kill everybody. I didn't ask for your help. That's literally what it's like, too. It's like, no, no, just stay away, dude. I don't want someone doing the wrong thing and then you fucking them up too much. Sometimes I get that way. Um, so I do have, like, people I could probably trust, but getting involved with some people in my past can bring up all sorts of stuff. Like even my new friends, it's like I'm like, what's going on here? Like, who are these people? Like, wow, this is like everyone else I already hang out with. But you can't have certain types of attitudes involved in this thing. Like I've tried to reform, and I can't say maybe I needed the most reformation, but uh, a lot of the people around me, like I think they'd still be ready to just make the mistake that could like bring down something realistic, right? Although at the same time, like that's like bringing down something maybe is probably what this stuff's going to come to. But I wouldn't really trust anyone who hasn't seen what this all leads to if it doesn't change, right? Most of them are complacent, but once you see, that it all comes down to a collapse in the end, a controlled demolition, though, that like makes some people complacent if they get that far that it's controlled demolition, but it can be changed and like you cannot let these people go, but they're still there. I even seen them in music concerts, and the non-Jews was like failing to perform properly. I was like, what's going on here? So that's weird. But the politics I've been to seems to be all led by them. And I have that on cam. And I probably did upload it way back the other times I went to those places. Maybe I did on this channel. But I know I did many other places because I wasn't using YouTube because they were busy banning people like Jim Howe and Scott Roberts. And no one's seen Jim Howe for a while. But Scott Roberts comes back every now and then. But I think they still get rid of his accounts once every 6 months. Just it's not once every day like they used to. They've made it so it's okay to talk about them, and they've changed their algorithm so people are hidden. And the they have like their own people who can say that now. It's not illegal to say that now. It's illegal to bash Nazis now. It's not illegal to talk bad about the people the Nazis talk about. It's now illegal to talk bad about the Nazis. They just passed the torch. So I was testing that with videos. I lost a lot of subscribers doing that. Oh well. I say on this channel I'm doing a lot of testing, like, and I am, like I test everything. So that's that. And I've got a lot of information I can provide from living like that, but it's just like maybe I'll do that eventually. I would have to have a camera like all the time. I'm always doing some shit no one else is doing. But watching these leaders is important because they're just going to get together with their pals and form a narrative. They're going to go home on Hanukkah and form a narrative with their family. You know, if you want to look at it that way, go ahead. They're going to get together on Purim and form a narrative with their family. And I mean, that's a reality way you could explain this as possible. I actually just thought of that. I never look, but that's a good way. I don't need to because once you get so far, you realize there's something about different about reality they're not telling you about. So they control it some other way. But they're all in control of these movements, so just look for that. Every time, like, even when the InfoWars showed up, like, that movement, that truth or alt-right movement, he's the king of the alt-right. That's like the alt-right's mainstream media. It talks about everything that they've always talked about. They've never really changed, except for Trump said one or two key dog whistles to whistle in the dogs, and then he turned on the dogs, and the dogs were just like, oh well, kibbles and bits. It's not real meat this time. Real fresh meat. Maybe that was incorrect. I don't know what kibbles and bits really is. So watch out for that when you join these people and their movements, because a lot of times it's just simple to see that they're clearly in control. So, I mean, they're like in control of like so much stuff. It's kind of weird. And maybe I'll link to the video showing the controllers of the one place in the comments, but the other video would be way back, and I've only got so much time. I've got to like get back to eating at some point, maybe if I care to. So I'll try to link at least the InfoWars video that I was showing you. I mean, if you don't want to take my word for it, I'm wrong sometimes, but I don't lie. Try not to, unless I feel like countered by people. It's a useful tool. Let's put it that way. They like to lie to you. It's a very useful tool.